I want to start by reflecting on last night. I already have a lot of memories and images in my mind and in my heart from last night. I think the thing that stayed with me the most was the image of the girl from the choir who tripped on her way up the stairs, and the way we encouraged her. And I'm sure you noticed that far from being embarrassed, she was maybe the most enthusiastic and expressive kid in the choir. So there was something about her resilience and her determination, her perseverance and her courage that reminded me what a gift it is to be involved in the lives of children. Philippe Cousteau called you all heroes last night, and I could not agree more. But I also believe we are some of the most fortunate people in the world, because every day we get to nurture and celebrate moments like the one we experienced last night. Now, some announcements. There's a couple special things going on in the next couple days that I want to talk about. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, there's a breakout session called Incorporating International Mindedness into the MYP Instruction. It's an honor to have a late addition to the panel as a survivor of the genocide that took place during the Second Sudanese Civil War. Deng Juak is one of the lost boys of Sudan. Deng is here. Welcome, Deng. After walking 1,000 miles at the age of 11 across hostile terrain and with very little to sustain him and his group, Deng arrived at the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya 6 months after leaving his father in pursuit of an education. There he ardently pursued his goals of literacy and English language proficiency by attending a makeshift school during the day with the children and returning at night to attend with adults. The United Nations brought him to the U.S. approximately 6 years later. He received his high school diploma from Yorktown High School in Arlington and attends Northern Virginia Community College. He returned to his country twice recently, once to vote in the historical referendum for Southern independence, and secondly, to work in delivering bicycles and building a school in a village once ravaged by a civil war. We're very glad you're here. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, there's a very special session called the Discussion Forum for Diploma Program Coordinators, which is being led by Carolyn Adams, who's our Chief Assessment Officer, and Graham Dunnan. Graham is right here. Graham has been with the IB nearly as long as I. No facial hair that I know of, but he basically is in charge of the administration of the annual or semi-annual IB diploma exam sessions. So I know none of you have any concerns or comments about assessment, but if you do, now that you know who he is, you have 24 hours to harass him before the 2 o'clock session tomorrow and maybe help prepare him to make the most of your time together. We had something unusual happen this year, and Drew said I could make jokes about the props. I think I'm doing this much less awkwardly than he is, but we actually have 3 programs, one in English, one in French, and one in Spanish. Last year and the years before, they were all in one booklet. This is much less cluttered. I think it's a beautiful program, courtesy of my colleague Stephen Perrine. But I think a lot of people who speak Spanish or French were given the English program, so there's a shortage of English programs. If you're willing to trade in your English program for a Spanish or French program, you will get a $5 discount on next year's registration fee. And we're raising the price by $6, so it should work out perfectly. And that would be at the conference help desk, which is right down the hallway there. Thank you for any help you can give us so everybody can have a program. Of course, there's many other ways to access that information. There's large posters that have all the day's sessions. There's other large posters that have the sessions organized by the different topical strands. And there's also the app, which you can download from the Apple Store or also from the IB website. And that sketch that is part of the app will not only show you what the day's schedule is, but if you've chosen your sessions in advance on the app, it'll send you an email in the morning to remind you when and where they are. At the end of today's formal program, we are going to reconvene here at 5:15 promptly for an extraordinary cultural event. The Mardi Gras Indians, Chief and his wife and their tribe, the Mohicans, are going to share with us something that even people who have lived in New Orleans their whole life sometimes haven't seen. The extraordinary history, pageantry, and cultural resonance of the Mardi Gras Indians and their performance and an explanation of their history is something that really shouldn't be missed. Please get here promptly by 5:15. There's a message board because we have gotten so big. I know it's frustrating if you're looking for one person, but there's a good old-fashioned, low-tech cork board right by the registration desk, and if you want to put a message up for somebody there in the right part of the alphabet, there's a remote chance that they'll get it before the end of the conference. I'd also like to personally thank the local arrangements committee. This is an unusual conference in that there are not yet that many IB schools in the state of Louisiana, so we brought together many Gulf Coast states. We had representatives from Alabama, Brad Coltrane, we had Kelly George from Florida, we had Karen Phillips from the Republic of Texas, which seems to have emerged as a sub-theme of the conference, as they tend to do. And we had Keith Altazine, Charissa Vitter, Nan Ryan, and Therese Knowles, and Avril Font. Please thank them for their extraordinary work. So this is when it really begins. After today's general session, we begin a series of 75-minute breakouts, sharing of best practice, networking, learning, teaching, informing us of what you need. The breakout rooms are on all 3 floors. It's easy to get up and down by the escalators. The people in blue coats are there to help you. There'll be IB staff all over. My typical experience of these conference rooms is you will figure out what they are, where they are, sometime around Sunday morning. So all we ask is that you be prompt and you participate. The last thing is purely housekeeping. Those of you who have been accessing the internet for free, or the World Wide Web for free, in your room, we've maxed out on the code that makes it complimentary, so here's the new code. It was IBO 2013. Now it's IBOO 2013. IBOO 2013. You will never see me in a tie again. And now it's my pleasure to turn things back to the Regional Director for IB Americas, Drew Deutsch, to make a special presentation.